It is time for your favorite Android podcast from the crew of blindandroidusers.com. Kick back and enjoy another fine episode from these Google fanboys as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here are your hosts.
Hello and welcome to episode 22 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. I'm Ed Green and I'm joined by my co-hosts Warran Carr and Austin Pinto, and we're recording this episode on Friday the 7th of May. After the usual announcements section from Austin, our Android Basics section this week is all about internet browsers and web views. In our In Focus section, we're joined again by Farhan Ahmed, who has recorded an unboxing of his Samsung S21 Ultra, the lucky fellow. In our App of the Week section this week, Warran is demonstrating the weather app Sunrise. And finally, the My Android Journey segment this week comes to us from David Moore. Hi, Austin. Hi, Warran. How are you both?
Wonderful day. Wonderful weekend. Kind of chilling out here, like Hillary said, chilling out there in Cedar Rapids. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm doing well. Beautiful Friday here. We're probably going to be up to about 66 degrees today.
I'm doing very good. I'm in Mumbai, India, so things are very dangerous here. There's a lot of lockdown, and the summer is like in its peak, and it's almost over, just 15-20 days more, and we'll have the monsoons now. So doing good, waiting for the rains.
Wonderful. That's good for your crops, Austin, because without the summer, my kids like to complain about the summer, and I'm like, you know what? Without it, we will have no food. So bring it on, man.
Yeah, and it's cold here in London. Sunny, but a little cold today. Excellent. Glad we're all doing well. Austin, what we got this week?
As we are recording before Eid, we would like to wish all our listeners a happy Eid Mubarak, and maybe this year be very nice for all of us. So keep listening. The first announcement is that we were on Live Accessible channel by our group member Carrie, and we did an interview, had a chat. So the link to that will be in the show notes. And also, what has happened now is last week I had spoken to you about malware spreading through WhatsApp. Today, in the big turn of events, you will be knowing in episode 5, we had demoed Telegram and Signal Messenger because WhatsApp had changed its privacy policy. But the Indian government has put a lot of pressure on them, and they have now said we will not do the deadline. The deadline for accepting the privacy policy was 15th May, and they would not do this deadline now. So, what do you all think of this? It's a good move, I think.
Is that just in the Indian market, Austin, or is that globally they've done that?
It's for the global market, but the pressurization was done on WhatsApp by the Indian government.
We will be reaping the benefits of India here. And I'm hoping, though, that WhatsApp just does away with all that nonsense. To be honest, I don't think I'm going back to WhatsApp anyway. I'm just using my Telegram here and Signal, and good enough for me.
Yeah, I think it's how quickly everyone else moves, isn't it? So I think for me, it's not my app of choice, but it's trying to get a critical mass of folks to move over to Telegram and Signal. I've seen a lot of people in my contacts join Telegram, but I've still got a goodly few who are stubbornly resisting and staying on their WhatsApp, which is disappointing.
Well, you never can tell. It's so hard to get people to change from what they are used to. And the same thing here. I have some of my friends, especially in overseas, and that's where I have the bulk of my WhatsApp friends was overseas. Because here in the country, frankly, maybe 10 out of maybe 800 plus of my contacts here in the US use WhatsApp. A lot of people don't even know what the hell WhatsApp is anyway, so we don't care about WhatsApp here.
Yeah, that's good. Next this week, we're turning to our Android Basics section. And this week, it's all about web browsers and web views. Increasingly, people are using their phones to undertake activity that used to be done predominantly on computers. That's been the case for several years now, but it shows no sign of changing. And obviously, one of the key activities that people want to perform on computers and by extension on their phones is surfing the internet. So we thought we should cover what that experience is like on Android and what apps you might want to try out when you're looking to find the best internet browser for you. We should first, though, I think, touch on web views, which are an integral component of this experience on Android. And I guess we should probably start with the basics, Warren, shouldn't we? What is a web view?
It's very important that we talk about web views, and we throw these terms around, or, people hear this, web view. What in the world is a web view? Now, the web view actually is a system component for the Android operating system, and that allows Android apps to kind of display content from the web directly within the app. And that's what the web views are. So you're not getting out of that app in order to enjoy what that app has if it has some web component to it. It used to be that this has to be updated whenever the system OS is updated. And as of Lollipop, and so going back to the history now, as of Lollipop, Google decoupled that. So it means that you can independently update a web view on its own without needing to wait until we have an OS update. Because prior to Lollipop, the web views come with the OS. But so with them being separated now to where they can independently be updated, one can always update it whenever there's an update to it. Now, there are 4 different channels of the web views. We have the regular web views, then we have the beta channel, we have the Canary channel, and we have the developer channel. So if you're having a problem with some of your apps or something is not behaving right, an email client is not behaving right, or browsing the internet is not behaving well, since all of these things depend on that web view, you want to try to change the different web views. You could go to the Play Store and install a different one, maybe the WebView Beta, or you could install the Canary version or install the developer preview. So in this way, you'd be able to find out as to which one works better for you. And that's what web views are. They're a very critical component of the Android operating system that make our apps work.
And are these different channels, beta, Canary, developer, are they searchable as regular Play Store apps, or do you have to register for the beta or Canary channels?
These are freely available on the Play Store, and anyone can download them. And then, like I said, when you download them, then you can change which one you want to use if you're having trouble with one. And that's the good thing about these web views. And I strongly suggest, most especially to people who are having some problems with their phone when browsing or something of that, try a different web view and see if that makes a difference in the behavior that you're observing.
Brilliant. That sounds good. So turning to browsers then, and I've got to say, I haven't been particularly adventurous in my choice of browser when I switched to Android. And in part, that's because, as like many browsers, the one I am using is cross-platform. I was using it on Windows and on Mac, so I stuck with it when I transitioned to Android last year. And that browser is Google Chrome. So it's already on your phone. I'll show you briefly what the Chrome window looks like. I've got to say, I'm not someone who likes a lot of open tabs, so I have cleared out all my tabs. So I'll show you a few things that you might want to go and take a look at. That the advantage, of course, of having a cross-browser platform, it doesn't need to be Chrome. Many of them are cross-platform is that autofill information is saved, and bookmarks and history. Well, bookmarks certainly are going to be synchronized across devices. You know, if you trust Chrome to save your passwords, and I know some don't, but if you do, then obviously, and you allow autofill, then that will all be saved. But I will go into the Chrome window, just unlocking my phone.
Chrome. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Actions available. Use swipe up then right to view. Chrome. New tab. Button. Double tap to activate. Zero open tabs. Tap to switch tabs. Button. More options. Button.
So a very uncluttered interface at the minute. We'll just have a look before I go to a web page and open it up. We will just have a look at the more options section here. It's in the top right hand corner to save you swiping to it.
Zero open tabs. Tap to switch tab. More options. Button. Pop-up window. New tab and list. New incognito tab.
Incognito tab, that is a private window essentially. So if you want to browse more anonymously, I won't say anonymously, obviously it is Chrome, but more anonymously, you can select an incognito tab, and then history and all the rest of it won't be saved. Obviously it's not the same as a VPN or anything like that. You know, your internet service provider, for instance, will still know where you've been, but there are reasons you might want to use an incognito tab. The main reason I do it is if I need to visit a website where I want to log in again to a different account, and that way there are no cookies or things loaded. You know, I'm not automatically logged in, so incognito tab is useful there.
Close all tabs. Disabled. Settings.
And Chrome settings. The Chrome settings here aren't that dissimilar to Chrome settings elsewhere. I'll take a brief look in, but I'm not going to go through all the different subcategories, but we'll have a brief look at settings.
Settings. Navigate up. Button. Settings. Open feedback. New and Google. Heading and list. Edward Green. For Green. Sync. Sync is on. Sync. Google services.
I talked about sync. Sync is on, so all that information is being synchronized across my Chromes. To do that, you will need to sign into Chrome with your Google account on your various devices. But once that's done, you will be synced.
Basics. Heading. Search engine. Google. Search. Passwords. Payment methods. Addresses and more.
So all these autofill things.
Privacy and security. Safety check. Notifications. Theme. Advanced. Heading. Home image. On. Home. Accessibility. Site settings. Double tap. Languages. Light mode. Off. Downloads. About Chrome. Double tap to activate.
Now I haven't. I said I wasn't going to dive into the settings, but I will go into accessibility, mainly because I haven't been into it before, so I don't actually know what's in it.
Accessibility. Home image. Accessibility. Accessibility. Navigate up. Accessibility. Element feedback. Text scaling 100%. Drag the slider until you can read this comfortably. Text 33%. Slider. Force enable zoom. Override a website's request to prevent zooming in. Not ticked. Tick. Simplified view for web pages. Offer to show articles in simplified view when supported. Not ticked. Tick box. Double tap to activate.
So simplified view is an option that can make a reading experience a little easier. What it seeks to do, where it's present, is to strip out some of the other website content, so you are just left with the article that you want to read. Is called Reader on Safari. It will be called other things in other browsers. Here it's called simplified view. I typically don't use it, so I keep it off.
Simplified view for open tabs. Recommended when talkback or switch access are on. Tick box.
So it's on for open tabs there, but not
simplified view for web pages. Offer to show articles in simplified view when supported. Not tick.
Not sort of in the other one by default. And then you've got captions. So I'm going to back out of here and we'll pull up a website.
Zero new tab button.
So I'll go to new tab.
Search or type web address. Edit box and list.
And in the edit field, once you are in the edit field, swiping to the right will take you through various suggestions that Chrome has. And again, you can control that in settings. So I'm just going to go to the BBC site.
E, port, W, voice.com. E, W, WX, S, W, full stop, X, E, limited voice, E, C, O, X, C, .co.uk, full stop, co.uk/football. C O / O / full stop / football U K / J K / football. And
you'll hear talk back merrily reading out the Chrome suggestions. I'm just going to load the page.
5% progress bar. Keyboard hidden. 70%. BBC home WebView. 70%. BBC homepage WebView.
So you've heard about web views. Warran talked about those. Now it's worth here exploring your options, your talkback granularities, to see what you have and what you can move by, as that will make web navigation a little easier.
Links. Controls. Headings. Swipe up or swipe down lines. Headings. Swipe up or swipe down.
So you've got links, controls, and headings by default. I'm going to move by heading for now. This is with the on-screen keyboard without having changed anything in settings. So links, controls, and headings. So I'm going to swipe down.
Accessibility links. Rio police accused of executing suspects in raid. Heading 3 link. It felt like a scene from a horror movie. Heading 3 link. German call to ban Jewish star at COVID demos. Heading 3 link. The interstellar voyagers that visited our sun. Heading 3 link.
So these are the various news articles on the BBC website. We could open one up and have a look at it.
Visited our sun. 70%. The visitors from deep space baffling scientists. BBC Future. WebView. 80%. Accessibility links. Heading 2. Skip to content. Link.
We'll skip to content and see what we pulled
Navigation.
up.
Main. Region. The visitors from deep space baffling scientists. Image credit. Alamy. Future. Link. Collapsed. Open more navigation. The Great Beyond. Link. The Great Beyond. Physics. Link. The visitors from deep space baffling scientists. Share using email. Share on image credit. An artist's impression of the alien object Amulamula. Credit. Al. 6 May 2021. As astronomers spent decades looking for objects from outside our own solar system. Then 2 arrived at once. When should we expect the next one? And what can they teach us?
So this is the article. Slightly unusual for the BBC. It's not marked by heading level 1. Perhaps there's a video and it's not treated as a standard news article. But that is broadly how you would load a website in Chrome. Those are some of the navigation options offered. And now Austin is going to talk to us about the Tor browser.
So everyone, the Tor browser is the full form of Tor is the Onion router. This is one of the most secure browsers ever. Another browser which is secure is DuckDuckGo because it uses that as a default search engine. So what Tor does is it gives you a basic VPN so that you can stay anonymous on the web. And you need a VPN. I would suggest that you go and get a VPN if you want to stay truly anonymous, but it gives you a basic VPN. So let's open the Tor. So when you open Tor browser, you will get this page.
Unlabeled page. Swipe to the left to see Tor logs.
Swipe to the left
Volume set to 100%.
to see Tor logs. Now what Tor logs is, it will tell you to what IP you're connected, which site you visited and all that. So that is what it is. And then below that, you have an unlabeled button, which will give you lots of advanced statistics. Let me just go in there quickly and show you.
Tor network. Navigate up button.
So as I said, this browser provides a VPN. It's like a VPN. It's run by different volunteers around the world. So let's see what happens.
Tor network. Tor browser routes your traffic over the Tor network, run by thousands of volunteers around the world. In list. Current status, heading. Is Tor ready? No.
Is Tor ready? No, because I have not connected to the Tor network.
State, disconnected. Bridges are enabled. No. Config bridge, use a bridge to connect to Tor. Tor network, Tor browser route, current status, heading.
So that is what Tor network is in your current status.
Accelerating
Now,
downloads using home button.
let's
Page, swipe to the left, unlabeled button. Connect button.
click on connect.
Service, Tor browser, Warbot is starting.
And this will start the Warbot or the Tor bot and connect you to the network. This takes slight time
List.
because it
Show
connects
items 1 to
you
3 of 3.
to an
Set your security
encrypted
level. Menu,
network.
highlighted, out of list.
Now this is a very important thing, that is set your security level.
Set your security level, current security. Checked. Standard all Tor browser and website features are enabled. Radio button.
This is kind of the least secure version, but I would recommend that you take this because this will enable everything on the web, but it's not very secure. It's like using Google Chrome or something. It gives you some anonymity, but not much.
Not checked. Safe or disable website features that are often dangerous, causing some sites to lose functionality. Radio button.
You could also take this, but sometimes websites might not work. Some websites that require some JavaScript or something might not work.
Not checked. Safest only allow website features required for static sites and basic services. These changes affect images, media, and scripts. Radio button.
This you should absolutely
Accelerating
not
downloads using
take
Go channels.
unless the
security settings button.
site is static and does not require any scripts or functions or some player to run or something. Then you can open security settings where you will get some more options. We will go there in a bit, but let me just, it's
Open security
checked
settings button.
by default to the standard.
Donate now button. Start browsing
So
button.
Tor works on donation. You can donate to them. It's not required, but if you like their work, then you can donate to them and you click start browsing.
Showing English US QWERTY keyboard. Search or enter address. DuckDuckGo. Search or enter address out of list.
So this also uses the DuckDuckGo search engine, which is very good, which is the safest.
Scan switch. Search engine switch.
You can change your search engine.
Search engine switch. 0 open tabs. Menu highlighted.
This is the menu. Let's go here.
Pop-up window. Quit.
You can quit Tor.
Settings.
You can go to settings,
Bookmarks.
bookmarks,
Downloads.
downloads,
Highlighted. What's new?
what's new,
Help.
and help.
Highlight.
Let's
Download.
go to
Bookmark.
settings
Setting.
quickly.
Quit. Settings.
Then we'll try loading our
Settings.
website.
Navigate up button. Settings. General heading in list. Search. Tabs. Close manually. Customize. Logins and passwords.
So here you can customize Tor. You can add
button.
your
Accessibility
logins,
in list. Logins and passwords.
passwords.
Accessibility. Language. Accessibility.
Let's go to accessibility.
Accessibility. Navigate up. Accessibility. Automatic font sizing. Font size will match your Android settings. Disable to manage font size here. On. Switch in list.
This is for magnification and low vision
Accelerating download.
users.
Font size. Make text on websites larger or smaller. 100%. This is sample text. 33%. Slider. Disable. Zoom on all websites. Enable to allow pinch and zoom, even on websites that prevent this gesture. Off. Switch.
You can
Navigate
allow
up. Button.
that.
Out of
So
list.
that is it. There is nothing for visually challenged people here. Totally visually challenged. It's just low vision users.
Alt plus look. Overview. Recent apps. Tor browser. Accessibility. Back. Button.
So let's back out of here.
Settings. Accessibility. Language.
Language, you can select app language. I'm not going into this.
Set as default browser. Off. Switch.
You can set Tor as your default browser.
Privacy and security. Heading. Security settings.
Here you can open your security settings.
Security level.
Let's go
Navigate
quick.
up. Button. Security level. Checked. Radio button. Standard. All Tor browser and website features are enabled. In list.
So let's say you have taken the most safest level and something does not work. Some websites does not work or none of the websites work. You can come here and change it back to standard or
Not checked. Radio button. Safer. Disable
safer.
website. Not checked.
And that is all that is there in this security
Back.
settings.
Settings. Security. Tor network.
This is Tor network. This gives you the same stats that we saw before.
Site permission. Tor network.
Let's see the stats once
Tor network.
because we are
Navigate up.
connected.
Tor browser routes your traffic. Current status. Heading. Is Tor ready? Yes. State. Connected. Bridges are enabled. No. Site permissions.
Here you can get the permissions for each website and what they ask for, like location and all you can provide for the websites. Like Google will ask for location permissions.
Delete browsing data.
And you can clear your data.
Notifications. Advanced. Heading. Allow screenshots. Off. Switch. Add-ons. Remote debugging via USB. Off. Switch.
You can install add-ons. You can do remote debugging and all
About.
this
Heading.
advanced
Rain on Google Play.
things.
Back. Button.
So
Out of list.
let's go
Navigate
back.
bar. Search or enter address. Settings.
So the address bar
0 open tabs. Search or enter address.
is on the top. So you click on that.
Showing English US QWERTY keyboard.
And let me
Search
just
or enter
launch
address.
our website.
B. G. L. I. N. E. A. N. S. P. T. R. O. I. B. U. S. A. Delete. S. E. R.
So one thing you can observe is that
X.
TalkBack does not
Yes.
echo the key that you just typed in.
Space.
That is one problem.
N. Space. Go. Period. C. O. M.
And let's
Go.
go.
Loading. Tor browser private close private tabs. Keyboard hidden. Settings. Site information. blindandroidusers.com. The tab counter toolbar button. 1 menu. Accept. Site in tabs. Menu. Welcome to blind Android users. Heading level 1. Your new home for everything and anything having to do with Android for those who are blind or visually impaired.
There is
Loading.
no progress bar also. So that is another problem that is here. But it's a pretty easy small website to load so it won't take much time. So it does not announce the progress bar. That is another annoyance with Tor. But overall, I would say if you want to stay anonymous on the web and you want to stay secure, you can use Tor and it will provide you some security. But if you want to stay truly secure, you should go and get a VPN and get a paid VPN, because free VPNs will not cover you properly. We'll do an episode on VPNs later. So this is it from me, and this is the demo of
Battery 86%.
Tor browser.
Thanks very much, Austin. And just in terms of your experience with the Onion router, do you find that it's slower if it's kind of, if it's got, the network of volunteers acting like a VPN, routing traffic everywhere, or is it not really noticeable?
It is not very really noticeable, but sometimes when there is too much congestion, or if you get connected to a person, like this is the like a collected team of volunteers running traffic, so it does not really be noticeable that it's slow. I think it's, in fact, it's faster than what Chrome loads, because you saw our page came up in seconds. So Chrome takes some time to load it, but I would say Tor is slightly faster.
Oh, good. That's good. And Warren, I think you now are going to demonstrate for us one of the Microsoft browsers, aren't you?
I will be talking about that Microsoft Edge Canary, and I have both of them, but I kind of like the Edge, and I like to go ahead and open that app, so we'll look into it.
Folder, Nav Edge Canary. Microsoft Edge First Run Experience. Help improve Microsoft products by sending optional diagnostic data about how you use the browser, websites you visit, and crash reports. Checkbox, checked.
Now, you can uncheck this if you don't want to have that collected.
Not checked.
And then at the bottom right is the confirm.
Confirm, but customize your browsing experience, heading.
So here we hear customize your browsing experience, and here are the things that we find in that customization.
Button, theme, Edge default, button.
So the Edge default, or you could tap in here if you want it light or you want it whatever. You can tap here to go change that look.
Button, new tab page layout, informative, button, new tab page layout, informative.
So you can go change that as well.
Button, tracking prevention, balanced, button.
Right now it's unbalanced. However, you can go in here and change it to what you want, whether you want it extreme protection or whatever you want.
Set up later, button, set
Or
up later.
set up later. I'm going to click
Page
on
refreshed,
set up later.
Todo, always, expanded.
And here we have the to do because it's Microsoft.
Set Microsoft Edge as your default browser, open with Edge always.
And because I don't like setting any browser as my default, I'm going to say, hey, no.
Yes, let's do it. No, thanks, but Edge Canary, account.
All right, here you can choose if you have an account that you want to sync it with, you could do that.
And coronavirus, news and more, heading.
And then here,
Outlook, top site 3 of 7, button.
you have
double
things
tap on
like Outlook, Facebook, and all
top
of
site,
that,
shopping, pinned, top
shopping,
site 1
and
of
all of
7.
that. Now, let's go to the bottom where we have, some tabs. The search bar is at the top, but you have some tabs at the bottom. At the bottom right, we've got
button,
the share.
disabled. One open tab, double tap to switch tabs.
Here's
button.
the second one to the left of that is the tabs.
Browser menu, button.
Browser menu.
Go forward,
Go
button.
forward.
Disabled.
It's disabled, of course, because I haven't gone to a web page yet.
Go back, button. Disabled.
Let's go to the browser menu.
Browser menu. Save.
So we got favorites,
History.
History,
Items with collections.
collections,
Item 3. Downloads.
downloads,
Item 4 of 5. Settings. Item 5 of 5.
settings. We could look at the settings real
Browser
quick.
menu.
These are things you can go in yourself and see how they're laid out.
Settings. Set as default browser. Links will open in Microsoft Edge automatically. Close the banner forever. Button.
You could do that.
Account. Heading. Accounts. Settings. Heading. Privacy and security. Accessibility. General.
I'm not going to talk about the accessibility because it's usually having to do with like fonts and things like that, which is not important to us. However, there's a reader mode here, or read aloud mode. For instance, if you're on a web page and you wanted to get it read aloud or something like that, you could turn that on.
Appearance. New tab page. Set Microsoft Edge as default. About Microsoft. Developer option. Navigate up.
And that
button.
would be what we have
Edge
in that
Canary.
settings.
Personalize. Coronavirus. Tab.
Now, I want to go to a web page so we could read something. Let's say we want to go to
Search or type web address.
blindandroidusers.com, for example.
Voice input.
blindandroidusers.com.
One suggestions found. blindandroidusers.com. Progress. Blind Android users podcast for blind and vis page refreshed.
Okay, so here we are on our blindandroidusers.com
Welcome
webpage.
to Blind Android Users, heading 1.
And I'm going to go to the menu.
Main menu, but collapsed.
And I'm going to go to our tutorial section.
Home, current about, articles or guides.
Articles
Page
or guides.
refreshed, 70%. Articles or guides blind Android users are page refreshed. Downloading episodes of the blind Android users page
We
refreshed.
tap on downloading
21%.
episodes from our website. Now, here's
Page
what I
refreshed.
like. You could choose to have this part, read aloud if you want to. And to do that, we tap on the browser's menu at the bottom.
Bottom toolbar, heading. Browser menu.
Tap here.
Favorites. Item.
And we're going to scroll toward the
Search
bottom
web.
and
Tap
find
voice search.
where it talks about reading aloud.
Add to phone. Read aloud. Item 13 of 17.
Here's
View
read
desktop
aloud.
site. Progress bar. 5%. 70%. Read aloud pop-up has appeared at the top of the page.
So at the top, we have some additional settings for the reading aloud. And here at the top, we've got
Read aloud go to next button. Read aloud pause button. Read aloud go to previous button. Open read aloud settings button.
in the settings of the read aloud.
Pop-up window.
Here's what we've got.
Reading speed.
We've got a reading speed.
Slider 33%. Voice.
And this is where you select the voice. And I think as of now, though, it's only English. I'm not sure.
Drop down list. English, United States. Pop-up window. English, United.
So it depends on the
Pop-up
locale that you're in. It may not show other languages like this right now. It's not showing any other languages besides the English United States.
Reading speed.
I'm going to go back
Progress bar.
and go to
Blind.
the reading.
Refresh. Read aloud play. Downloading episodes of the Blind Android Users podcast by the Blind Android Users podcast team as our current podcast host.
Yeah, so
read aloud play.
that is how you read aloud articles using the Microsoft Edge Canary. And it does have a reader mode itself also that you could just have a plain text showing. And so if you want, you could try a different browser like the Microsoft Edge, or you could try a different one, but they're all based on Chrome. So it's just a matter of preference and which one works better for you. And remember, they're all powered by that WebView we talked about earlier. And that would be the Microsoft Edge Canary browser.
Thanks, Warren. And just a couple of other things I want to say about navigation before we close the the Android Basics section. I mentioned that if you're using your touchscreen to navigate, you have options for links, controls, and headings. If you go into TalkBack settings, customize menus, and then customize reading options, you can add landmarks to that list. So you can give yourself 4 settings. If you have a hard Well, a keyboard, I don't, but if you do, certainly in Chrome anyway, a whole world of other navigation options open up to you. You can move by the ones I've already mentioned. You can move by button, next and previous button, control, check, combo box, edit field, focused item, list item, and all the rest of it. So if you like using different navigation techniques to navigate your web page, and headings, links, controls, and landmarks aren't going to do it for you, then get yourself a hardware keyboard. Next, we have our In Focus segment, and Farhan Ahmed is back with us this week to unbox his brand new Samsung S21 Ultra.
We're glad to have our friend Farhan here today. Farhan Ahmed, my buddy from Pakistan. So a few days ago, Farhan was talking about wanting to get a phone, and he was vacillating between the Samsung and the OnePlus. And then I said, well, you want the Samsung, go for it. And you know what? That boy went all the way, went the gusto way of doing things, and got the Samsung S21 Ultra. And so we are like, well, if that's what you got, why not come on here and unbox it for our listeners? And so that's what we're doing here today. And so, Farhan, you are here with me and Austin.
Hi, welcome back again to the show. Last week you came and told your Android journey story, and that was fantastic. And the Muslim Pro demo also was good. So nice to have you again on the show.
I also appreciate it. It was such a fun, and I was really looking forward to coming back. I also plan to do a demo of another app called Aquamail, but I'm glad I am able to come even before that app demo and have the phone unboxing segment with my name as well.
So now here you are, and you're going to give us a tour of that beautiful baby.
I already have the box open in front of me. It came in a rectangular box, and the boxes in the the charger box and the buds box were kind of a squarish boxes, and underneath those boxes they have the phone, which is, you guys probably know what kind of boxes usually is there. It's rectangular, and when I was opening this box, I was thinking, well, Samsung claims that they could, I mean, if they don't give us charger with the phone, they're kind of saving tons of green, tons of trees, or I don't know, whatever energy. I don't really know what kind of energy they were talking about, because the box looks almost exactly as my Mi A3. I mean, just maybe a little bit thinner, but they could probably fit in the charger in there. But anyways, I got one for me for free. It's a USB Type-C adapter, and it's a 25W, and it supercharges your phone. Probably there are faster chargers available in the market, but I'm happy with the one that I got for my Samsung phone. So in the box of the phone, there was a phone, and then there was another box that had the USB Type-C cable, and then there are manuals, and then they have the SIM ejector. So I have the phone in front of me, and this is a beast of a phone. I think it's more than 6.8 inches screen, and then
it's a big phone.
Yeah.
So how about you tell us about some of the physicals, like where the buttons are, like the power button, the volume, and that type of thing. Of course, we know it doesn't have the SD card, and of course it doesn't have the headphone jack. Those ones are out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it has so there are like three buttons, two volume buttons, like for up and down. They're on the right side if you hold your phone facing you, right? And they're on the right side, and then just below the volume buttons there's a power button, and they have nothing on the left. Yeah, I don't think they have anything on there.
Yeah, that's good for Samsung. No longer having stuff on the left-hand side and stuff on the right-hand side. I hated that.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible setting. Um, then on the top, they have some kind of sensors. I don't really. I'm sure there are some kind of sensors because like how they have the plastic wrapping and they have like left some of the you know that they have left some of the wrappings
Yeah.
to leave the sensors uncovered. So there are some kind of sensors, and then on top of that there is a speaker, and then on the bottom on the right side there is a speaker as well, and then on the left there is a SIM ejector
Uh-huh.
where you put your SIM. Yeah, this is SIM ejector. And then on the back of the phone, if you keep your phone back facing you, then on the left side there this camera module. It's a little bit bumped from the other phones you probably have seen. If you've seen the Samsung A51, or if you've seen any of the other phones that have the four cameras, quadruple cameras,
Yeah.
it's a little bit bumped
A little
from
bit bumpier than those other ones. They're more of a bump.
yeah. I would say maybe a slightly you know up from the body. I would say it's not really embedded in there. It's
Yeah.
bumped out.
But so if you have a case on it, though, for instance, if you have like a good case on it, that probably would just be recessed. It wouldn't matter necessarily. It wouldn't be like rocking on the table if you put it down on the table. But you probably, if one puts it down on the table without the case, it
Yeah,
may probably rock.
that is true. That
Yeah.
is true. Three different cameras on the left. If you put your phone uh, back facing you, okay, and then there are two like camera shaped holes just to the right of those three vertical cameras, aligned cameras, and then there's a hole between those two cameras which is probably for the flashlight. So I don't really know what the because I just got the phone.
Yeah.
And I know that there are four cameras probably. They don't have five cameras.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what.
think it has four. So how about you want to turn that baby on and enable accessibility?
We'll talk about the specification in just about a bit. I think and just maybe just give you a quick understanding. It has a Exynos 2100. It comes in 12 GB of RAM and 256 GB variant, and that's the only one you get in Pakistan. You officially, okay. Unofficially you may get anything. You may even get the Snapdragon version, which I really wanted to get, but it was expensive than this one. And then on top of that I have to pay taxes, and then I wouldn't get the freebies that I got along with it, so I went with the official one. And the Exynos one would be fine anyway, right?
Yeah, that makes
Talk about
sense.
it. So I'm going to turn the phone on. There we go. It's coming on.
Does
It's
it vibrate upon?
it
Because
does.
I know that most Samsung phones vibrate when one turns it on. So very good for a blind person to know the phone is coming on.
Absolutely, it did vibrate, and the screen is on right now, and it's super fast. I think it's on the welcome screen. I'm going to hold the both volume buttons for a couple of seconds to see if the accessibility service comes in.
Please for 3 seconds to use TalkBack. TalkBack on. Welcome to TalkBack.
Oh, it has the UK English going on.
The screen reader
Yeah,
is intended for
I'm going to set it to
situations where
US
people
English
who
in
have
just a minute.
difficulty seeing the screen.
All right.
It gives
So
useful
let me tell you what I did. So when the phone came on, I held down the volume key for a couple of seconds. Nothing happened. I'm just telling, just in case if people try to do that, and if you know.
checking for new tips.
Yeah.
And then what happened is, and then I did that again, and then it announced, okay, press the volume key for 3 seconds to turn the talkback on. I let go the volume keys and press the volume keys again, and then it enabled talkback. So it didn't happen in one go. Maybe if I had pressed it a little longer, it would have done the job in one go. Yeah. So
if people, I mean, I because I got panicked as well, because I said, oh well, this they're not providing accessibility services are on the startup screen, but maybe I was, maybe I thought I was doing something wrong.
Talkback is a screen reader
All right, so you could,
intended for situations or people who have difficulty seeing the screen.
okay,
It gives you spoken feedback so that you can use.
perfect. This phone, one of the best thing is that it has stereo speakers.
Start.
So I'll click on
Double
this.
tap to
So I am on
activate.
the setup screen right now, and I'll click on the start button.
Insert a SIM card to connect to a mobile network.
Oh no, I'm
End
not going to
user
do that right
license
now.
agreement.
Yeah.
Not ticked. End user license agreement. Tick box.
Okay,
Double
so
tap to toggle.
although it gave me a warning to connect to the insert the SIM card, which I did not enter the SIM at the moment, I will do that when I get my protector and the back cover. And then it also, when I clicked on the start button, there was an end user license agreement,
End user not ticked. End user license
which you have to
agreement.
accept
Tick box.
anyway. I
Yeah.
mean,
Tap
it
to
doesn't matter if
toggle.
you read or not, but you have to accept. Okay.
That's right.
So we'll just
End user details.
no, actually,
Details.
hang on.
Details. Privacy. Not ticked. Privacy policy. Tick box. Detail. End user license agreement. Ticked. A few legal. Ticked. End user license agreement. Tick box. Double
I
tap
think
to toggle.
I don't know. There are a couple of check boxes. Let's see what
There's
they are.
one
I
for
don't know.
the privacy in there that
Hmm.
also needs to be checked.
End user license details. Not ticked. Privacy.
Yeah, there's a
Okay.
privacy right there.
Policy. Details. Not ticked. Sending of diagnostic data. Tick
There's
box.
another
that-
one. There's
Tap to
another one.
toggle.
You want me to take that? I think that's optional, but let's
That's
do that.
optional. It's up to you. That's if you want Samsung to have diagnostics of your device or not.
Activate. Links
Is it good doing
Tap
that?
with 3 fingers to view.
Sometimes I skip that.
Sending. Sending
I'll do that too.
Not
I'm not gonna
ticked.
take it. Okay.
Send details. Not ticked. Receipt of marketing information. Tick box.
That's fine. That's also
Double
an
tap
optional
to
one.
toggle. Not ticked. I have read and agreed to next
There we
button.
go.
Settings. Choose a Wi-Fi network. Farhan, 1 of 5.
Okay, so I'll
You could skip all of that and just go to the home screen.
Button.
okay.
Downloading smart switch. Copy apps and data.
I'm gonna
Next
skip that too, because yeah.
Don't copy button. Google services in list. Tap to find out on switch.
So
for
they have
next
location
location.
on. I'm gonna turn it off,
Off.
and then
Collapsed. Off. Switch for allow scanning.
scanning is
Disabled.
off.
Device make collapsed. Send usage and on. Switch for send use.
Okay,
Off.
turn it off.
Collapsed. By tapping accept. Accept button.
A pretty
Protect your
standard
phone.
setting. Pretty
Protect your
standard
phone.
setting.
Yeah, very standard.
Face recognition. Fingerprints. Pattern 5 of
It
7.
has face recognition. It
Double
has
tap to
fingerprint.
active. Pin. Password. Skip button.
Skip.
Skip protecting your. Go back. Skip anyway. But just a sec.
Just a sec.
Configuration update. Samsung account. Sign in to get top games.
We don't need top games. Yeah.
No.
Skip button.
Okay.
Skip out on all this. Samsung Cloud. Get X. Bixby. A new way. Galaxy. Customer. Find your Samsung Park. Skip button.
So the skip button
Double
is
tap to
toward the bottom of the screen, so I got it there.
Samsung Setup Wizard. You're finish. You're all set up.
There.
Portrait. Device unlocked. Untitled. Google Play Protect is turned on.
Nice.
This feature protects your device from harmful apps. Service
Alright.
updating. One UI home. Weather in pager. App updates are ready. Connect to a network to continue. Service
Okay.
updating. Search for
Perfect.
your new mobile plan. If you've signed up for a new mobile plan, you can search tick box. If you've signed up for ticked, do not show again. Cancel. Search button.
No, I'll just cancel.
Cancel.
So
One
Yeah.
UI home. Please wait for a while. Please wait for a while.
I may actually appreciate using TalkBack now because of the speed and everything. Because this was a problem for me. With the Mi A3, that the TalkBack had a little lag, and it did not have multiple double finger gestures. And
Yeah.
this phone does have, because let me show you.
No SIM emergent.
So
So
before you take us to the talkback settings, could you take us through like its settings UI, and let's see what's in the system settings.
okay.
Calls, disable, prefer, mobile, more resets.
All right.
Done.
So I was talking about.
Data.
I was telling you about the recent and back buttons. So after you set up the phone, the switch, the back button comes on the right side.
Back button. One UI home. Swipe up
So I'm
or
going
down
to.
with 2 fingers for all
Yeah,
apps.
go to the
Back.
system settings, where it says open settings.
Each one of
Let's
one.
take a look at what it is like in the
Camera,
system settings.
gallery, clock, contact, settings,
Yeah.
settings, settings, search settings, button, list, Samsung account,
Okay.
connections, sounds and vibrations.
Pretty standard
sound
Samsung
mode,
settings.
Mhm.
The connections,
Wi-Fi, sounds
the
and
sounds.
vibration, notifications, display, bright, wallpaper, home and lock, themes, wallpapers, icons, home screen, layout app icon badges, lock screen, screen lock, biometrics and security, privacy, permit, location, Google service, accounts and backup, advanced features, Android Auto side key, digital well-being and parental controls, screen, battery and device.
Now,
I
I
hope
want
you
to say something before you move on, Farhan. I heard something that talked about the advanced and the side keys, and that is where you can go in and change how that power key behaves. Because by default, when you hold it down, it's going to launch Bixby. But if one wants it to bring up the power menus, then you have to go change that to say, hey, when I hold down this power, instead of launching Bixby, launch the power menus, like restart, power off, or emergency, that kind of thing.
Let's go in there.
Yeah.
To see.
That's in the advanced and side keys.
Biometric, lock screen, home screen, themes, wallpaper, display, sound, connect, feed, home, locks, privacy, location, Google, accounts, and advanced features.
There.
Advanced features.
And you're looking for side key.
Search setting, call and text, off, call, continue app, off, link to Windows, 3 of, off, Samsung Dex, 4, off, Android Auto, 5, S Pen, 7 of 23.
Oh, it also supports S Pen.
Oh, yeah.
Side key, 8 of
There we go.
Yeah, side key. There you go.
23. Side key, side key, double press, on, ticked, radio button, quick launch camera, 2 of 14. Double press, on, switch, 1
Okay,
of
side keys on.
So in other words, if you press the power key twice quickly, it will launch the camera. So keep going till you get to the power heading.
Radio button, not ticked, radio button, open app, settings, button, press and hold, 8 of 14.
Oh yeah, press and hold.
Ticked, radio button, wait Bixby, 9
Yeah,
of
see, so
14.
that would launch Bixby if you hold down the power key. So you need to go change it to, the power menu.
Button, power off menu, 11
There,
of 14.
that one.
Menu.
Yeah,
Tapped, ticked.
Got it.
How to
Yeah.
power off your phone, 13 of 4. Edge panels, how to power off your phone, 13
And then-
of 14.
then you
And
can
how
go
to
back.
power off.
Items, side key.
It also have
Double
edge
tap to
panels. I
activate.
didn't know what edge panels were until I was told by my brother yesterday that there's a screen, maybe a little small screen.
Yeah,
on the
little
side.
notifications on. You could interact with the side panels and things like that. You can also turn it off if you don't want those.
Advanced features.
Oh, really?
Side key,
Okay.
8 of 23. In list,
Perfect.
23. Motions
So
and gestures,
we go back out
9
of advanced?
23.
Yeah, let's go back.
Back button.
Let's go see the
All right.
accessibility area.
Battery and device, apps, general management, accessibility, talk,
There.
accessibility, search, more options, recommended for you, using one, talkback, 3 of 14, recommended for you, using one function, 1 of 14.
Okay.
Double tap, talkback, 3 of 14, visibility enhancements, 4, hearing enhancements, Interaction and dexterity. Advanced settings. 10 of 14. Installed services.
We'll come back to advanced settings in
Services,
just a
11
minute.
of, about accessibility. Edge
Okay.
panel. Advanced settings.
Let's see what's in there.
Advanced settings.
Just curious.
Advanced accessibility shortcuts. Heading. Accessibility button. None. Double tap.
Oh, so
You
I think
better
I could-
assign that to TalkBack.
Access. Choose what to. Not ticked. Accessibility. Tick box. Not ticked. Talkback.
Yeah.
Allow talkback to have full. Allow talkback. Edge panels. Allow. Accessibility button. Ticked. Talkback. Tick
All right.
box.
What else we're
Double tap
looking
to
for in there
activate.
now?
I think there was something you saw on there that was
Tap to activate.
interesting. It wasn't in the advanced, but it was also in the accessibility area.
Advanced accessibility button. None. Side and volume up keys. None.
Oh yeah, side and volume up.
Yeah,
key.
so you need to see what you can do with those.
Side and choose what to use. Not ticked. Accessibility. Tick. Not ticked. Talkback. Tick.
Well, let's do that.
Allow talkback. Allow. Edge panels. Allow. Side and not ticked. Color adjust. Not ticked. And color filter. Tick.
I mean,
box.
I have assigned it
Double
to
tap
TalkBack.
toggle.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are other things you can do that with.
Not ticked. Magnifier. Not ticked. Magnificate. Ticked. Talkback. Not ticked. Color invert. Not ticked. Color adjustment. Tick. Not ticked. And color filter. Tick. Not ticked. High contrast fonts. Not ticked. Amplify ambience. Not ticked. Mute all sounds. Tick box. 11 of 17. Not
Wow,
ticked.
that's a lot.
Tick box.
Mhm.
12 of 17.
12 of
Double
17.
tapped. Not ticked. Mute all sounds. Tick box. 11
Oh.
of 17. Double tap to toggle.
This one is fairly standard with the Mi 3. If you press the volume up key and the power key, sorry, power key and volume up key, it mutes the sound.
Yeah.
Standard.
Not ticked. Universal switch. Not ticked. Interaction control. Tick
Traction
box.
control.
Not ticked. Live transcribe. Tick box. 14
Live
of
transcribe.
17.
I don't know what that is.
Double tap to not
So
ticked.
live transcribe is for people who are deaf, and in other words,
Double tap.
if I am talking to them, it would transcribe what I'm saying, and so they could see it on the screen.
Oh, I see.
Not ticked. Sound notifications. Tick box. 16 of 17.
All
Double
right.
tap to back button. Out of list.
Let's go back.
Advanced.
Wow.
Time to take action. Default.
Yeah, time to take back.
Flash notification. Double tap to
Okay,
activate.
so
Notification. Flash. Time to take Bixby Vision for a voice label. Right. Looking for some notification.
And where are we?
Reminder.
That was the end of it.
yeah.
Accessibility shortcuts. Heading. Double. Accessibility button. None. Back
Okay.
button. Navigate.
Let's see what-
interaction.
So
What kind
you
of
are going to show
install-
us the gestures, right? Or
Install notification. Google Play Protect
Yeah,
is turned
the
on.
finger
Out of
gestures.
list.
multi-finger gestures? Yeah.
Okay.
Interaction and advanced settings. 10 of
Let's
14.
see first if they are enabled in the TalkBack settings.
Okay.
Hearing, visibility, talkback, edge panel, when settings, talkback, sound and vibration, control, customize, braille keyboard, tutorial and advanced settings, 12 of open talk,
It's in the customize. You went past it.
customize gestures,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
customize, one finger back and forth, swipe up then down, swipe down then up, swipe left, swipe right then, one finger angle.
So
heading,
you gotta
swipe up,
scroll
then
down till you find the
14 of
like the multi-finger headings.
Swipe right with 2 fingers, scroll right, not 3 fingers, heading, tap with 3 fingers, open talkback menu.
Oh, there we go.
53,
Yeah.
Got it.
Triple tap with 2 fingers, read from next item, 27 of swipe up with 2 fingers, scroll up, not customizable, disabled,
Not
28
customizable.
of 56. Swipe down with 2 fingers, scroll down, swipe left, swipe right with 2 fingers, scroll
So
right,
so
not
we want to hear all of the
disabled,
gestures, or
31 of
you want me to
56.
just maybe do
I think that's
one or
to
two?
go down more. Let's look at the 4-finger gestures as well.
3 tap with 3 double tap, triple tap, swipe right with 3 fingers, 4 fingers, heading,
there we go.
40, tap with 4 fingers, practice gestures, 44 of 56.
So that's the practicing of the
Double tap
gestures.
with 4 fingers, open tutorial. Double tap with 4 fingers, open tutorial, 45 of 56. Double tap and hold with 4 fingers, pass through next gesture, 46 of 56.
Pass through next gesture.
Showing items 40, triple tap with 4 fingers, tap to assign, 47 of 56.
Tap to assign. Okay, so it's unassigned right now.
Unassigned.
Swipe up, 4 fingers, tap to assign, swipe down with, swipe left, swipe right with 4 fingers, tap.
How would I swipe right with 4 fingers if my hand is that big? And
I know, I don't like that either.
yeah, it's so subtle.
Oh my gosh.
Swipe right with 4 fingers. Tap.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, if my hand is as big as the screen, I mean, how would I swipe with 4 fingers?
4 fingers. Well, but a lot of blind people want the, 4 finger, 5 finger, whatever. Oh gosh, I don't want any of that.
5 fingers? They might have to. I don't know. Like, I don't really know. Like, how will they use the thumb as well? They might have to artificially fit a 5th finger.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
maybe 5 finger tap. 5 finger tap to drive me home or something crazy like that.
yeah, that is true. that is true.
Back button.
So
Double tap to activate.
let's come back.
Back.
This is why I wanted a conversation style, so that you could tell me what to actually do, because I'm not really good at.
Portrait. New features with
Let me
talkback
first of all turn off the
13.
auto portrait feature, because it's really annoying.
Oh yeah, nah. Definitely always switch that auto rotate off.
Off.
There we go.
Back button. Talkback settings.
Yes.
New features
So,
in talkback.
are we looking for anything else in the talkback settings?
13 items.
I think there's a lot in there, but I think for now though that's good. What I was after is the responsiveness, and indeed, I don't see your phone, being sluggish like what was being talked about on the list. So, I am really excited that this is not the thing that we've been hearing about the Samsung. Everybody's saying Samsung is this and that. That UI 3.0, UI 3.1. Was not good, but this is absolutely smooth experience as I hear it.
Yeah, and even the camera is accessible. Let me give you
Oh yeah, let's check the camera.
Settings. Back button. One UI. Samsung free in pager. Calendar. Back button.
Okay.
Homes. Play Store. Google. Double tap. Place.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Camera.
There's
Out
a
of
camera.
pager.
Yeah.
Take picture. Button. Camera. Photo. Mode. Rear camera. Preview. Double tap to activate.
Rear
One
camera.
face. Center. One
Oh,
face.
yeah.
Top. One face. Top.
Top. Okay, let's
One
see.
face. Upper left. Focus enhancer on. One face. Left. One. Take picture. Button. Refining picture.
All right, I think I
Wow.
took
One
my
face.
picture.
Left. No faces
Yes.
detected.
So I took the
Focus
picture.
enhancer on.
So it has a focus enhancer. I think it has one of the settings where if you try to take a picture of something, and you have, like, because I know my hands are not really steady. I mean, they shake sometimes when I'm holding the phone, because can be really precise, unfortunately. But so it locks the settings, and so if you move your phone inch, maybe 1 or inch left or right, locks the settings, and it detects the thing, and if you press the capture picture button, and does the job without any
Yeah.
problem.
Left. Wide. Switch photo. But lens.
So-
Wide.
So let's see.
Telephoto
So the
lens.
camera buttons are also
Landscape.
accessible. Let's see.
Double. Ratio 4:3. Ratio motion photos off.
So
button.
it's on the top of the
Double
screen that
tap
I'm
to
exploring
activate.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
Focus enhanced on. Ratio
Ratio.
4:3. Timer off.
Timer.
Button. Flash off. Button. Double go to settings.
Okay,
Button.
photo settings.
Double tap to activate.
And I don't think there's anything in the middle of the screen. Probably view for the picture.
It's just a live view, yeah.
lenses wide.
Lens wide. Switch to select lens wide. Switch to telephoto lens button.
Okay.
Lens wide. Switch to super telephoto lens.
So those are the different cameras on the back that you're interacting with there.
Double tap to
Yeah,
activate.
and
Double
it's
tap to
it's
activate.
probably just below the middle of the screen. These controls are vertically, no, left to right, horizontal, vertically, right, left to right, vertically assigned, laid out.
Lens wide. Switch to super telephoto lens.
And if
Single tape button.
Single
Double tap
tape?
to activate. Photo button. Single tape button. Double tap to activate photo.
That is really
Photo.
neat. I'm kind of jealous.
Double tap to activate. Double tap. Photo button. Take picture.
Yeah, there's take
button.
picture.
View pictures and
View
videos.
pictures.
Button. Take picture button.
So there's a take picture
Double
button,
tap to activate.
kind of toward the bottom of the screen, and then on the left is a
Single take
view pictures
and
button.
videos.
So click on there.
Well, you haven't had any pictures.
6th May 2021 10:40.
Just took one.
Oh, yeah, you did.
May 2020.
Yeah.
More. 6th May 2021 10:40. Image/JPEG button.
Yeah,
Double
I don't know
tap
what to
to
do with this
activate.
image. I don't think it has something that describes the image right now. Does it?
I'm not sure. You probably have to use something like the likes of the InVision or SuperSense or something like that. One of those things would exactly tell you what the picture is.
All right. So
Well, good.
there was one more thing I was concerned about. Let's
Okay.
try to bring up an app at the home screen
Okay.
to see if that works
Screen,
over there.
page one. Settings in
Okay,
pager.
I'll just bring
Double
settings.
tap to. 2 quick options for settings.
2 quick options for settings.
Add to home button.
I could just press and hold down and drag, and then it will automatically go to the home screen, or I could just use
Or you
this
could just
menu.
tap on where it says Add to Home, and it'll also take you to the home.
Home screen, page 1 of 3, default page.
You could invoke the talkback menu, and then you're going to find where it says Actions, and you tap on that, and there's either going to be Move Item. Of course, we're not going to get uninstall here because it's system settings now. If it was a regular app,
Yeah.
we'd probably find things like uninstall.
Double tap to activate.
Yeah, or maybe we could just
Double tap
you
and
just
hold
do
to
like
press.
hold down and
Quick
then
options for settings.
So-
Home screen, page 3 of 4. Settings page.
so it doesn't work that way. Like you
Double
could
tap
just
to
swipe
activate.
up
Double tap
quickly
and
and
hold to
throw it
lock
out of
press.
the screen. It doesn't
Actions
work that way.
available.
Yeah, it still does that. So you got 3 different ways. You could either use a gesture action, or you could long press and just drag it and fling it away, or move it slowly up toward the top, and you're going to find remove, because it's system settings. We're not going to find the uninstall.
Tap with 3 fingers.
Maybe try doing a different app that would have things like uninstall,
Double tap to activate.
Oh, yeah.
because the settings, you can't do much with the settings.
Remove from home
Ah,
screen.
oh, yeah,
see,
there we
there's
go.
the remove. Yeah.
Double tap. Moved from home screen. One UI.
So yeah, to me it's
But
fairly accessible.
if it was a different app, you'll find both the remove and uninstall and or move.
Yeah, remove. Because we just set it up, so I didn't have any app installed. Like I didn't install anything from the Play Store yet. So
Yeah.
maybe we could.
This has been nice, and I think what I was really curious about is that responsiveness, and this has been very responsive, and so this kind of puts a lot of things to rest. I mean, it doesn't mean that people are not experiencing it with some of their Samsung devices, but definitely this is not the issue with the S21, especially the Ultra, and you are the third person that I have heard this with, and all 3 of these experiences have been the same, wherein it's very responsive.
Thanks very much, Farhan. That sounds like a seriously nice piece of hardware. I don't know what you guys think.
I really like the phone. It sounds like a nice phone because it's probably one of the cream of the crop, so to speak, in Android land. No one comes close when we're talking hardware. Samsung kind of takes the lead there, and so you have that nice hardware and all of that. Definitely a very nice phone. Kind of makes me jealous. Austin, how about you?
Yeah, it's a very nice phone. But in the unboxing, there was a discussion where Farhan said that Samsung is trying to save energy on by not providing chargers and all those. But there was so much of paperwork. I don't know what energy they're trying to save. One hand, they may be trying to save energy by not manufacturing chargers and preventing recycling of metal. But at the other hand, they are wasting energy by providing paperwork. What do you think about that?
No, it's that energy is called moolah, my man. Moolah. That's what it is. So
Yeah.
Samsung is trying to save moolah, right, Ed? I
That's
don't buy
right.
the
It's
energy
it's the
saving.
mobile phone equivalent of batteries not included, isn't it? The parents' three worst nightmares on Christmas Day. You unwrap the toy your kid wants, batteries not included.
Yeah.
Day
Isn't
ruined.
that something? You forgot to go to Walgreens or Walmart or some place to get a battery in preparation. Isn't that nice? You get a
Yeah.
phone, and probably this is your first phone, and you can't charge a damn phone. Well, it does come with a little bit of a charge, but so if that charge goes off, you're toast.
Yeah, I mean the rationale, which I don't really like, although I can understand it, is that people must have that many USB plugs around these days. And what's the big deal? The one that gets me is Apple not including an HDMI cable with their Apple TV. I think that's particularly cheeky because you're going to have fewer HDMI cables lying around than you are USB plugs, I would have thought. But anyway, I don't like the trend. I understand why they do it. As you say, Warren, the moolah motive as well as the
It's
environmental.
moolah because now I
Yeah.
have to go out and buy it from them, and they're going to tell you if you don't use ours that is meant specifically for your device, you could wind up hurting your device, and people would be scared, and therefore you go buy it from them for $40 or £30 or whatever. You see, you're throwing ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching into the coffers of that
That's right.
manufacturer, and it's not good. I think frankly, now I'm not kind of usually like government to get involved in things and all of that. But this type of thing is not good. The government should say, hey, quit that crap. You're trying to extract some more moolah from the pockets of the people who are already purchasing your devices. This is not right. It's just
Yeah.
not right.
Particularly where something like fast charging is concerned, it's really not right because then you probably do need at least a better USB plug than the one you might have kicking around and will be forced to buy something.
Yeah, and because if you go buy like a Chinese knockoff, tendency that you're going to wind up damaging your phone or it's not going to charge as fast as you would like it to charge. And so you're bound to make sure that you're getting that premium charger, whatever, from the manufacturer, and they're charging you extra money. So you see, you buy your phone for $1,000, you wind up buying the charger for another $40 or $50, depending on the wattage it has. So see, this is just another way of making extra moolah. So it's not saving energy, but it's called trying to bring more moolah into your pocket. That is the
That's
pocket
right.
of the manufacturer.
And I am bound to say that there are some excellent Chinese products, whilst at the same time, other countries' knockoffs are available. Always read the label.
Yeah. All right, so that's it about that Samsung device. Otherwise, it's a great device, but come on, Samsung, you could do better than that. And if I think that for me, if you don't have a charger, a charging block, that maybe have like one of those power strips that have USB ports. All of mine have those USB ports, and then you want to make sure though that it has a USB-C port as well, because this is strictly a USB-C. It's not like the part that goes into the wall charger is an A, and the part that goes into the phone is a C. They're both C on both sides, both ends.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, those are other options, good options domestically, as long as you own the USB strip. I wouldn't recommend using them when you find them in hotels, particularly overseas. I would, if you can, use power outlets. But we are possibly going down a bit of a rabbit hole with that one. But yes, if you own a power bank that has those USB strips, then they're an excellent option too. In our App of the Week section this week, Warran is here to demonstrate the weather app, Sunrise.
In the App of the Week, this week's app is called Sunrise. This is a weather app, and it's for those of you that are not happy with what comes on natively on your phone in the way of the weather app. The app is called Sunrise. I will now invoke the Sunrise app and talk about it. There is an unlabeled button in the app. Let me now call up Sunrise. Open Sunrise.
Sunrise, accurate, detailed, beautiful, in pager.
So thus we go to next.
Next, button, up, allow, page 2 of 2.
The second page is about whether or not we want to share our location with it. In other words, if you wanted to constantly find out what the weather is in your location, then you have to allow it to access your location. Or else we tap on ignore, and that would mean that we will have to manually enter the location for whose weather we would like to check. So for example, I'm just going to tap on ignore.
Ignore. Showing English, US, QWERTY.
Upon tapping on ignore, it automatically launches the keyboard so that we can now type in the location for whose weather we would like to check on. In this case, I'm going to type in something. Let's type in New York or Manhattan, New York.
Capital P. Voice input.
Manhattan, New York.
Showing
All right,
items
let's see what we got.
New York Mills, Manhattan, New York.
Tap here.
Keyboard hidden. Please wait. Sunrise, Manhattan, out of list. English, US, view daily.
So there's view daily or view hourly.
View daily. Hourly.
Let's tap on hourly, shall we?
Sunrise, but 10 p.m., 49 degrees, feels like 47 degrees, partly cloudy, wind, 7 miles per hour, west-northwest, clouds, 36%, 3 of 146, in list.
What if I swipe right?
11 p.m., 49 degrees, feels like 12 a.m., 49 degrees, feels like 47 degrees. 1 a.m., 48 degrees, feels like 46 degrees. 2 a.m., 48 degrees, feels like 46 degrees, mostly clear, wind.
Now you got the drift. Now if we go
View
to
daily.
view daily,
Sunrise. Monday, May 10th, 64 degrees, 48 degrees, 30%, day. 8 chance of rain before 8 a.m., then a slight chance of showers between 8 a.m. and noon, mostly cloudy, with a high near 64, northwest wind 6 to 10 miles per hour, chance of precipitation is 30%, night, partly cloudy, with a low around 48, northwest wind around 9 miles per hour, 2 of 7, in list, 7 items.
that is how it works. Now,
Sunrise.
if I want to add another location, near the top left corner, there's a button there that says unlabeled.
Button, unlabeled.
When you tap on this unlabeled button, it shows us 3 things or maybe 4 things here. We have
Add,
that's to add a new location besides what you have.
go premium.
Go premium if you want to remove those pesky ads.
Settings.
Or settings. Let's take a look at the settings.
Sunrise.
In the settings, here's what we've got.
Data source, weather.gov.
Weather.gov is our source. You could tap in here, go choose the weather source that you want.
Sunrise.
We have things like
Radio button, not checked. Open weather map. Radio button, not checked. Weather.io. Few clouds. Radio button, not checked. AccuWeather.com. Radio button, not checked. Forca.com. Radio button, checked. Weather.gov. Radio button, not checked. WeatherGCK. Radio button, not checked. Bomb, Australia. Radio button, not checked. Meteorfriends.com. Radio button, not checked. Svisa, Swedish. Not.
you got the idea. So
Sunrise.
you choose the weather source that you want. And the next thing is the unit, whether you want it in Fahrenheit or in Celsius.
Units.
So there's unit,
Notification.
notifications, whether you want it hourly or how you want your weather reported.
Update frequency. 30 minutes. Update frequency.
So
30
right now
minutes.
it's 30 minutes.
Language. Default.
language,
Feedback.
feedback,
Reported bugs or about.
and about. Now, there's a couple things
Sunrise.
before we go. If we want to add another location, right now we have Manhattan, New
Overcast.
York. Now, let's say we want to add
Button.
someplace.
Add.
Let's add, for example, say Chicago.
Capital P. Voice input.
Chicago, Illinois.
Showing.
Let's find Chicago, Illinois from the list.
Chicago, Illinois. United. Keyboard hidden.
All
Please
right.
wait.
I tapped on Chicago, Illinois, and it
English,
tells me to wait.
US.
Now we have 2 cities in our list of cities.
Manhattan, overcast, 50 degrees, 1 of 2.
And
Chicago, light rain, 45 degrees, 2 of 2.
you can rearrange this if you want New York to go to the bottom and Chicago to go to the top. All you have to do is long press and just drag it up to the top. For example, I will long press on Chicago and drag it to the top.
Manhattan, Chicago.
All right. Now, if I put my finger back down, we will hear Chicago is the first one.
Chicago, light rain, 45 degrees, 1 of 2.
There we go. Now, if you want to remove a location, all that needs to happen is to long press the city and then you swipe with 2 fingers to the right and then to the left of that thing you just swiped away. To the left of what you just swiped, there's something that says
Left view.
that should have been labeled as remove. If I tap on that thing that says left view, it removes that city. So I will now long press on Chicago and then drag it to the right a little bit and then find that thing to the left of it that says left view. So here I go.
Chicago, light rain, 45 degrees.
Now that I've just swiped it a little bit to the right, so tapping on left view will remove that location. Now I'm going to tap on left view.
Left view.
I just tapped on that. Now let's put our finger back down and see what we've got.
Manhattan, overcast, 50 degrees.
That's all we have. Chicago is gone. Now if I want to remove Manhattan, all I need to do is simply long press and then drag a little bit to the right with 2 fingers and find the left view to the left of it, tap on it, and it will be removed. Here we go.
Manhattan.
Swipe to the right with 2 fingers.
Manhattan.
Now I'm going to tap on left view.
Left view.
And now
List.
my list is empty. And that is how you go about adding and removing locations on this weather app called Sunrise. I have written to the developer and I'm waiting to hear back from him to see if he could label the unlabeled buttons. That is Sunrise.
Thanks very much, Warren. And to conclude our episode this week, in the My Android Journey segment, we have David Moore.
Hello, everybody. I am going to do my Android journey. All right. My name is David Moore. I started using a feature phone by Virgin Mobile, and it was fairly accessible. I could type numbers. It would read everything I typed on the dial pad. I could type text. It would read the text back to me. I could give it commands like call John or give me the status of the phone, and it would tell me the battery percentage and all that. I used that Virgin Mobile feature phone from 2002 to 2010. And then I used a feature phone from Verizon between 2010 and 2013. And I used a lot of what was on there. I used the calculator, timer. It was pretty accessible. And this was a phone that we just went to Walmart and bought. And the same with the Virgin Mobile phone. Both of these phones, I mean, we had no idea how accessible they would be until Tracy and I brought them home. And we would just start playing with it. And then the first time I touched a smartphone was in 2013. And I went to a seminar at the Office for Disability Services that's right on the Ohio State campus. They help students a lot. And a blind person passed around his iPhone. And I touched the screen and I just heard all this gibberish like I'm like, what's this phone saying? Is this speaking a different language or what? And they're like, well, let me turn that down. So the guy named Peter was his name, Peter, and he turned it down so I could almost hear the speech. And I had never learned any techniques to using a touch screen. So I'm just running my finger all around the screen and I'm like, how in the world do you use this thing? Do you get on an app and use it? How do you answer a call with it? He's just like, oh, I just do it. And the rest of us there at the seminar, we felt the same way. We were just like, this Peter who had the iPhone must be Superman. And then a year later, a friend of mine had an iPhone, and I tried, and he showed me a few gestures, all he knew, and I learned the double tap, the swipe, the rotor. I couldn't even get the rotor to work half the time. And I'm like, I'll never use a smartphone again after that. I just said, I'll never use one. I'm happy with my feature phone. I'll never be able to use that touch screen. And then I tried out a couple other people's iPhones. Same thing. I couldn't get my finger to hardly do a swipe or a double tap. But then everything changed in November of 2018. That's when my Android journey began. A friend of mine, his name's Jason. He's really cool. He has some MRDD problems, and we just get along so well because he relates to me because he has a disability too. So he's really patient with me, and he turned TalkBack on one of his. It was a Android blue phone, 1 gig of storage, 16 gig of storage, 1 gig of RAM. He gave it to me and he's like, oh, just mess with it. So I did a Google search, blind person, how to use Android phone. And I found the Android website, Inclusive Android. I had never been on there until 2018. 2018, I would say December, I started reading and listening how to use an Android phone. And I spent hours, probably 3-4 hours a day, practicing the swipe, the double tap, the angle gestures. And it was really, really hard. And you got to realize I was using a phone that had what was it, Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean. Here in 2018, my buddy Jason gave me this phone that had Jelly Bean on it. And it made all kinds of dings. It had a lot of different sounds. But here I was. I got myself, after 2 months between November of 2018 and January of 2019, hours a day of practice on this Android Jelly Bean, 1 gig of RAM, 16 gig of storage, old slow phone. I was able to navigate between all the apps in the app drawer. I was able to double tap to open an app. I actually set up Gmail, read emails with it, and it took a long time because it was just so sluggish. TalkBack was so sluggish on there, it was unbelievable. And then in 2019, he gave me another phone, which is the infamous ZTE phone. And it had 2 gigs of RAM, a little bit better, 16 gig of storage, and it was a little better. It actually had Android 7. So it had a Nougat. So that's what I used in 2019, this Android Nougat, and it was a blue phone as well. Or no, it was the ZTE, that's right. Yes, so my second Android phone was this ZTE that I've talked about so much, and it works so much better. It was unbelievable. I actually used it to set the phone up myself, put 2 fingers on the screen, held them down, it started talking, I set up the phone, my Google account. I was using it quite a bit, and that's what I started getting involved on the with you guys on. I can't remember if the ice free list still existed then, but then when it switched to Anna Tad, and then Antad, and I got on your Telegram group, and I did all that with that ZTE, and that's what I used until last November of 2020. I finally got the Google Pixel 4a, my third Android phone, and I started using it a lot more than my computer. And from using these cheap phones, though, I gotta tell you guys, from using that blue BLU phone and the ZTE, that old ZTE, I was so good on a Google Pixel because I had to learn how to do everything with these cheap, sluggish phones. So when I got the Google Pixel, it's like all the different gestures are nothing. I do them in my sleep on that phone because here I am with 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gig of storage instead of 16. Just think, all the way up until last year, just a few months ago. So from 2018 to November of 2020, just a few months ago, I used $100 blue phone, and I used that old ZTE with 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage. 16. And I used a lot of apps. I really milked it for everything it had. And then all of a sudden, now here in the past, just since November, and here it is April, I used I've used the Google Pixel 4a, and then also I have a fourth Android phone now, and it's a LG Journey, and I use it as an actual phone, and that's what's important to point out to you. The first three Android phones, I used them as tablets. I just used them with our Wi-Fi. But this LG Journey phone, it came from Family Mobile at Walmart. We used this really cheap plan called Family Mobile. And the LG Journey only costs $30. It's an $80 phone. And it has 2 gigs of RAM like the ZTE did, and it only has 16 gig of storage. So this is my phone. I tried to use my Google Pixel 4a as my phone, but it doesn't work well with the Family Mobile at Walmart. It just doesn't work well at all. I'll have to wait till we get a different phone plan. But that's my Android journey. Here I am right now. I'm on my Google Pixel 4a. I'm using amazing MP3 recorder. Now I do try to use an iPhone that a friend of mine has, and I can use it a lot better now that I've done all this training, all self-training on Android. I never did get official professional training, but I go through all the tutorials online, anything I could find, I eat it up. And I can use an iPhone pretty well, but the rotor I still don't like. I like the 3-finger gesture that we have now to switch granularity. I even like it better than the rotor. But take care, guys. I've enjoyed getting to know you, Warren, Austin, and all you guys. And have a great.
Thanks very much, David. Another really interesting Android story. They're so rich and varied. I really enjoy that segment.
It is one of my favorite segments, and because it not only tells you about the struggles that the person had with the device or something like that, but then also it places a voice to who you're corresponding with, most especially on our mailing list. And then I love these Android journey stories. It's my favorite segment of the podcast.
And just finally, Austin, how can people find us?
So people can find us by visiting us on our website, that is blindandroidusers.com. They can subscribe to our podcast there, and they will receive email notifications wherever we upload a new episode on our website. Then they can also find us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Blind Space Android Space Users, and listen to all the previous episodes, listen to short clips on each episodes, and listen to the CSR screen reader playlist and lots of more content. So enjoy listening there, and make sure to subscribe to that channel, and stay tuned. They can subscribe to our mailing list by sending an email to blind Android users plus subscribe at groups.io. If they have any questions, comments, or feedback, you could email us at contact us at blindandroidusers.com. You can follow us on Twitter and also subscribe to our Telegram group, which has just hit 125 members. So that is very
Neat.
nice.
Neat.
So
Yeah,
that is it
absolutely.
from us. That is it from us this week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Austin. Bye, everybody. Ed, say bye to the boys and girls, shall we?
See you next week.
And that has been another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. As always, we appreciate hearing from you. You send those email messages to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. For those My Android Journey stories, we encourage you to send those to myandroidjourney at blindandroidusers.com. Until we see you in our next episode, you have a wonderful day.